I think there's a mind virus that's taken over.
I remember the election night, and I remember being like, what if I have to leave the country? Like, how much money do you have?
It's not like, oh, poor people vote are Democrats and rich people are Republicans at all.
Being loyal to a party is definitely better than being loyal to one Trump.
But being loyal to the party means that people like Mom Donnie, I don't really know anything about him, can't change things up.
Those are your weird propaganda words, by the way.
Democrats love to get on Republicans for gerrymandering, but do you know that California is the most gerrymandered state in the fucking nation?
If you do any sort of like reading or learning about how Black people have been treated by the government, then there's just no way that you trust the government.
And I had somebody message me and said, I can't believe you would waste your vote.
I don't know that I'm anti-government. I'm not like an anarchist or whatever.
I am so disillusioned by the Democrats just as much as the Republicans that like I also usually vote.
Welcome to season 2 of Grace and Reyna Ruin Everything.
I'm Grace.
And I'm Reyna.
We bring you the conversations you should be having with your best friend.
We cover everything from conspiracy theories, sex, religion, and politics, and normal stuff like friendship.
In a world that feels increasingly black and white, we welcome the nuance.
Expect honest dialogue as we explore what it's like to be a human woman in her 30s.
Whether you're questioning the status quo, seeking deeper connection, or just here for the unhinged tangents, you've come to the right place.
We've got new episodes weekly.
Come for the combos, stay for the vibes. All right. Welcome back again.
Okay, wait. Let's
rant and rave.
Okay, perfect. I haven't thought of one. Oh, I should go first though, huh? Okay. Let's see. Oh, okay. I usually never have raves because I only like to rant.
It's a big deal.
But on Sunday, because guys, we filmed these in the arrears. On Sunday was the first snow day in New York, and it was the first time I had seen snow in real life in like I don't even know how long because I don't go skiing or snowboarding. And when I woke up, it reminded me of when you're a little kid, and I opened my eyes. I was in my bed. I opened my eyes, and I go, it was supposed to snow this morning. And then I jumped out of bed, and then I opened the blinds, and it did snow. And then I ran out to the living room, and I told the cats, it snowed today. They didn't care. It was actually still snowing when I woke up. And then I took a picture, and then I went in the room. I was like, Alex, it snowed. And then he said, yeah. And then he didn't really care. But then we went to Central Park, and that was also my first time going to Central Park, believe it or not, which is really weird. I'd never been out of all the years I've ever visited, and I've lived there since August. And it was really cool. Like everything was like covered in snow. And Alex, he kind of was like, yeah, I don't know if you're ever going to beat this experience at Central Park like this. Because it was like a perfect snow. Like it snowed just enough that everything was white, but it wasn't all dirty yet. And it was a nice day outside. So it was a very cool snow day.
That's the best.
Yeah.
I miss a snow day.
Yeah.
That's why I kind of used to like when we lived in Topanga and they would have like rain days. Like if it was raining too much, you weren't allowed to go anywhere to drive or anything. They'd like close the roads. And it was like kind of reminiscent of a snow day, but like less fun.
Yeah, because we had snow days in high school too.
Yeah.
And we would go sledding.
Yeah.
We'd just be like,
wake up, look outside, blanket of snow.
Yeah. Check the news to see if your zip code went by so that you didn't have to go to school.
Well, for me, I would have like slept in and like woken up and be like, wait, it's too bright out. It must be. And then I'd be like, oh, my mom never woke me up. It must be a snow day. That's how I would know.
Oh, we never had that much snow. It would still be like in process when we were waking up. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't snow that much in Oregon. So.
Yeah.
But that was really cool. I felt like a kid. I had a very cozy coat, and yeah, it was fun.
Nice.
It was cute, but it was
Parka?
like weird. Yeah, whatever a parka. I bought this like coat from this Canadian brand called Canuck.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I know about it.
Yeah, I never heard of it, but I was Googling furiously, and all the coats that I liked were from Canada that were like warm coats.
You need a legit parka.
Yeah.
Cool. I love that for you. This isn't the first time that I've raved about TikTok, but I like TikTok because your girl is a bit of a conspiracy theorist, and I feel like the gold mine that is
My God. She's being radicalized. I'm
TikTok?
certain of it.
No, I already am as radical. Like I am radical, but I think I didn't like have the people to like connect with. And then now TikTok just like feeds me the people and they're teaching me things on the rabbit holes I'm already going down. I'm like, are these my people?
TikTok has the best algorithm. It's scary though, because like that is how like they're gonna control us or whatever.
Yeah.
But it is like when people don't get on it and they say like they're on Instagram Reels or whatever, I'm like, you don't get it. Like
Yeah,
you
yeah, 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 yeah.
don't get how it's different. Yes, everything from TikTok makes it to Instagram Reels, but it's not the same experience. I don't know how to describe
Instagram,
it.
you have Instagram, you have to follow the people already. You can't, it's hard to find people.
Yeah.
And then TikTok, they'll just like give you people, and you're like, wow,
Yeah,
who's this
random
person?
people.
Yeah,
And sometimes it'll be like you'll see someone, well, you haven't been on it long enough, but for me, right? I'll see someone and then I'll be like, oh, cool. And then like a year will go by and they'll show, you're like, oh, I haven't seen you in forever. It's like seeing an old friend.
yeah,
You're
yeah,
like,
yeah,
what
yeah.
the hell?
Yeah, it's cool like that. But it's definitely okay. I already am radicalized, but I feel like it's giving me like a lot more data and like information points, like data points on theories that I've already had or like what I already like know to be true in my core, in my gut. It's like people kind of doing the due diligence to like do some research, whatever, share their findings. Like it's a lot of like collaboration. It's why, not to bring up the Charlie Kirk thing again, but it's why I was geeking out so hard on the Charlie Kirk conspiracy assassination because I think this is the first time that we saw a conspiracy unfolding in real time and that we had social media to the point where the public, the people, could like unravel it as it was happening versus a lot of the things that have happened in the past that like okay, think about like the JFK assassination. Do you think that like went down the way that they said?
No.
Okay. So back in the day, somebody saw that in real life and was like, I don't think that's what happened. Or some, like a couple people had the information, and it took decades for those people to find each other, to put their heads together, to like put the case together, which is why we didn't hear about it until what, like a decade ago?
Well, that's because there was like the government has like a 50-year lock on it and
Yes.
then
And then they
they
released
release the files after 50 years.
but I
So,
feel like right now there's all these things coming to light and it's happening like more and more and more rapidly. And it's not that conspiracies and um like it's not that none of this has already been happening, but it's just that it's like being brought to light faster. And I feel like part of why I don't want to say is like just because of TikTok, but it's because of like social media
well, the
and
internet,
the internet.
this is the power of the internet, and
Yeah.
like the internet used for good, right, is meant to provide information to lots of people very quickly. Like that's what it does at its core. And I think like TikTok's interesting because I think it can unite people in a lot of ways. Like to your point, it's like you found your people. Whether or not I think that's good for you, I don't know, but that is like that is why TikTok is so cool,
Yeah.
right? But it's scary in another way. Not your, I mean, yeah,
Well,
like it's all,
scary to the government if we figure out
well, the
what they're
government's
up
like, don't
to.
like, aren't they like about to own it, basically?
I mean,
Basically,
Larry Ellison is buying
yeah.
it for Bibi Netanyahu.
I can't deal with him. All right.
Bibi?
Yeah, no more BB right now.
Okay. So that brings me to our topic of today. Well, actually, it was your idea.
It was not my idea. This was your idea.
But tell them what we're doing.
We're doing a debate. Well, we think it's a debate. We actually don't have it planned. It's a good old-fashioned debate about the government where we haven't prepared at all, and we're just going to bring up topics. And this was not my idea. This was Grace's idea. She just needed help packaging it. She's like the creative and I'm the brain. Like I'm the brain. I mean,
I wanted to talk about politics broadly.
yeah.
Well, okay, so here's what we found out. We've been like talking about different stances on things, and we hadn't even just talked about like the good old fashioned, like, how do you identify politically? How do you see the government? Do you believe in it. Is it something you believe in? I feel like it's like
For
fantasy.
you, I think it's that's a question. For other regular people, that's not a question you ask.
Well, let's get into it. Let's start with the question. Do you trust the government, Reyna?
Okay, so this came up when we were talking. In short, I would say no. I think that's the same answer you would give. So debate over. No, there's
It's
more to tease
long.
out. There's more to tease out, I think. I think you should talk about your stance though, because then
Do
it'll.
you trust the government and why?
Do I trust the government and why?
Or
No,
why
the
not?
government is always fucking us over.
Correct.
Always. And um I don't know that I'm anti-government. I'm not like an anarchist or whatever, but I do think that um I don't know. They're always pulling a fast one on us, I guess. And like if I'm half black also. I don't know if people know that, but I am. And if you do any sort of like reading or learning about how Black people have been treated by the government, then there's just no way that you trust the government.
For
And when
sure.
I say I don't trust the government, I'm like going full more like going farther, like the police, any extension of the government. Yeah, fuck
Okay.
them.
So I feel similar. I don't think you could trust them as far as you could throw them.
Yeah. But I do think the way that we practice this mistrust is different. That's like what I think.
Well, so that leads me to my next question. Generally, I would say, well, how do you identify politically? Do you identify with a party?
I don't care. Like, I think it's interesting that people identify with the party. I pretty much always vote like a Democrat. I'm registered as a Democrat. I don't know if I've ever been like, I'm a Democrat, though. Does that make sense? Like, I don't see that as part of my identity.
Okay, maybe not identity, but I would say that you're in the Democrat camp, liberal. Like
Yes.
generally
Yeah.
will sign off on the liberal agenda, generally will maybe like generally disagree with people that identify as conservative or Republican.
I think the where I would push back on that is I'm not disagreeing with them just because they're Republican or conservative, though.
Sure.
That is like a really big distinction that I'm going to make because if people can be of different parties and have complex ideas about how they think the government or how the country should run.
For sure.
So, like, and then the idea that this is why I'm saying that I think it's important to be like, I don't necessarily identify as a Democrat is because I don't um, agree with just following the party lines just to follow the party lines.
Yes, correct. I mean, I agree.
Oh,
Correct in
I
my
was like,
mind.
what do you mean?
Correct in my debate.
But
To
do I
my...
always vote for a Democrat? Yes. Would I vote for an independent? Yes.
Have
What?
you ever?
No. Who? Who? There's like no. And then for a Republican, I've never voted for a Republican ever. But in 2016, I did follow. I mean, a lot of people. I did follow all the Republican primaries like really closely.
Okay. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, I felt bad for like Jeb Bush. He was just trying.
I mean, I felt like the Republican primaries have been like a dog and pony show, moving
Well,
through the motions.
yeah, that was crazy.
So I don't identify as being a part of these parties. I protest them.
All right.
So riddle me this. If you don't trust the government, then why are you always voting for democratic policies? Because they're generally increasing the scope, span, budget of the government.
Okay. This is going to seem like really roundabout, but like, did you ever watch Desperate Housewives?
Where are you going with this?
Okay, so in Desperate Housewives, I forget which season it is. Tom and Lynette, which are like they're married or whatever, it's their anniversary, and they just have a pizza restaurant. And Lynette is really tired from having the pizza restaurant, and so she says for her anniversary, all she wants to do is have a bubble bath and do nothing. And then Tom tells his friends that, and they're like, "You can't do that. That's not what she really means." And so he plans this like really elaborate like dinner thing where she like goes out into the middle of nowhere, blah, 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 blah. And then he forgets to cancel it when she says that, when she's like, no, I'm serious. Like, I really don't want to do anything. And he forgets to cancel just the first part, which is a limo that drops her off in the middle of nowhere where there's supposed to be like a horse-drawn carriage. But like none of that other stuff happens. And so she's trapped in the middle of nowhere. She calls him and she's really pissed off. But then when they meet up, he takes her to a diner. They're getting coffee, getting warm. And she says, the only thing worse than not going through the motions is doing nothing at all. And so, like, obviously that scene has really stuck with me. Yeah, shout out Desperate Housewives. Learning life lessons. And so I think there's so many different ways that you can skin this cat, like this government problem. And, but I think that doing nothing to me that's the worst option. You can go for total anarchy. You can try to dismantle the entire system. You can vote for a Democrat. I think there's so many different ways, but to not participate just because I don't trust the government is not an option. And for me, at least. And then I also categorically don't agree with the Republican Party and how they manage the government. So they're spending just as much money, but they're spending it on things that I really don't think we should be spending money on. So it's, to me, between the two parties that we're choosing from, it's not like one actually has less spend and less investment. Just one of them at least is putting up the illusion that they want to help people. The other one won't even bother.
The illusion.
But I mean, to me, what's better? Someone who at least wants to pretend to help people, or the one who doesn't even bother to pretend?
So you're going through the motions as if our government is helpful, and then maybe it makes you feel better inside that you vote for the like morally superior one.
Those are your weird propaganda words, by the way. No, I think that it's directionally correct.
Okay.
Right? Like, the goal of politics isn't to get everything that you want to happen. It's to be in the direction that you want it to be in, because we are all different people with different experiences, different life views. And the idea that one person or one party knows everything for how we're supposed to handle it is crazy and very individualistic. I think that's a crazy take.
So I agree. And I don't think it's one party. I think, if anything, one of the biggest challenges, problems in our country today, and this isn't going to be like everybody's going to be like, yeah, duh, is the two-party system that we're stuck in, where neither party is really changing very much. Neither party is really doing all that much good. I think like the only difference in how we think is that I am so disillusioned by the Democrats just as much as the Republicans that, like, I also usually vote for Democrats more often than I do Republicans, but I have voted both ways.
Yeah.
And I identify as an independent, I guess. I used to identify as a libertarian.
That's stupid, but
I just want to be clear that I'm not in this two-party bullshit.
I think that independent makes total sense. I think libertarianism is just such a lazy cop-out. I mean, I'm not trying to say that about you. I think that everyone has our phases, like, where you're like, oh yeah, that does sound good. Like, when you think about it, like, okay, yeah, whatever. What could be bad about that? But then you, like, you know, it's just like,
that was the closest way that I could. That was the closest I'd found at the time of being like anti the two-party system, anti-establishment of whatever had been happening. Now, I am not one of those people, just to be clear, and I have this is no shade on the people. I am not one of the people that voted for Trump.
Yeah, I'm like, you do have to. I do think it's important to clear that up.
I have never voted for Trump. I would never vote for Trump. Not
because he's a liar.
Not because I don't agree with certain policies that actually have fallen under his platform, but because I have such a aversion to him and his lack of morals and lack of
integrity.
Like, just everything about him disgusts me, that I like
just him as a person.
Yeah,
I agree.
I could not in good faith vote for him. However, I understand why people did, and I understand the take that I think a lot of people had, which was wanting to like burn down the establishment, wanting to drain the swamp, hoping that he would be the one to change things up because he wasn't government political establishment. However, he is of the corporate elite, and he is now 1,000% government establishment. You know who I really like?
He's the best con man ever. Who? Sorry.
You know who I know? You know who, like, I actually know are my people? This is not what I would think.
Are you going to talk about the LA Comptroller again?
The people I fucking love. Kenneth Mejia. Is that his name?
Yeah, I mean, yes.
Oh, I love him so much. We need more people like that. Look up his Instagram. I think it's like at LA City Comptroller. He's pretty cool because his like whole job, we were just looking at him.
No, I
That's
was
how I feel.
driving. She was looking at him.
I was just looking at
Yeah, I was held against my will because I was driving.
Wait, because his whole job is to um like control the budget, but he's like holding LA City Council accountable
Yeah.
to the budgets and like making sure he like audits them. So he's cool because he is keeping them in check, keeping them honest. But then the crazy thing is they like there's like a beef like in the city between the politicians and him, and like he'll try to like for example, this was the story I was bringing up. I think they were doing some big audit on the homelessness spending because California and LA have spent billions of dollars on the homelessness
Yeah, they have.
problem. Example, democratic agenda item, homelessness. We want to help homeless people. I too want to help homeless people. I too don't want people living on the streets that can't
I want to
feed
be clear.
themselves, that can't.
Homelessness, the solving the homelessness problem is goes across party lines.
Do Republicans like
They also want to solve.
No,
It's
no,
one
okay,
of yeah.
wait. To be really clear, 90% of things, the majority, no, okay, wait. Let's say like 60% of the things, like 90% of the population agrees on, actually. Did you know that?
I'm gonna need some like fact checking here.
Okay.
We'll do this
Okay,
later.
I don't know if these are the right stats.
Okay,
but
there
what
we
I'm trying
go.
to say is that
I get-
actually people that
yeah,
identify
yeah,
as
yeah.
Democrats and people that identify as
I
Republicans
think if when you drill,
share more of their beliefs and what
yes,
they want,
I
what
do
they think.
know that. Well, I think that they agree on the values, like the end result. I think the how we get there is different.
But even certain things like most of the population agrees that women should have a right to choose what happens with their bodies and that if women want to end a pregnancy, that should be their choice. Most of the population, Democrats and Republicans. However, the two-party system has made this a party issue where it isn't. They're telling you
Yes,
that
that's
Republicans
called
are against
propaganda.
this
Well,
and that
Republicans
Democrats
are saying that.
But there's a small camp of Republicans
Yes,
that are
but
against
they
it.
happen to be
Pay a lot of
evangelical
money.
Christians
Yeah.
who pay a lot of money.
Yes.
So no, I know that happens.
But again, we're closer on what we actually want is actually a lot
I
closer
hope we
than
get
they
evangelical
would tell you.
Christian hate mail.
Uh-oh. This is the second time we brought
I
it up.
know.
Oh no. Okay, anyway, going back to it. Well, LA City Controller trying to control.
That's not what you're trying to talk about though.
No, and then but just to finish that, to close that loop out,
Yeah.
they are like he's like, "Oh, you guys are auditing the homelessness problem? Let me get involved. I'll be part of the committee." And they're like, "No.
Yeah.
No. You stay out of here. We're fine. We got
Good
it."
old government
He's like,
corruption.
"That's my literal job." They're like, "Oh, we'd rather, you know what? We have like a agency we've already like hired, whatever." And he's like, "Fuck you, motherfuckers. I'm gonna audit it anyway." He built like an app or something to like, he's like crazy. He's so cool. Anyway, the actual point is when I said my people, you know who my people are? Actually, I've really been respecting when people are like, I voted for Trump because of X, Y, and Z, and he didn't meet those promises, and now I no longer support him. That's actually, I'm like, oh, we're probably pretty aligned.
That's a crazy take. Because the reason why
there were so many people that voted for him.
Hold on.
Because he said he was going to release the
But
Epstein
he's
files
a liar. That's why it's a crazy take. Okay, one, I think it's very good that people you're allowed to change your mind. I don't like it when people like vilify the people that like are like, I did this and now I change my mind. But the thing with Trump, specifically Trump, is that he's such a liar that like literally thinking that he was going to do any of the things that he said he was going to do the second time or the third time or whatever time, to me, that is insane. Like, how could I think it's crazy that I don't think they're insane. I think you're insane for being like, those are my people, because I'm like, those are what? How
okay,
but
to be clear, I don't know how they had that misread the first time around. Yes. It's like, what did you expect?
Right. The first time around.
Who did you think he was?
The first time around, fine. Pass.
Yeah.
But the second time around, the third time around, every time he's campaigning, whatever, how can you say that you literally thought he was going to do those things? And when, especially when the Democrats or whatever, the liberals or whatever, the liberal elite are saying, or Antifa, we are Antifa, we are saying like he's lying, like he's going to do these things that are bad and he won't do these things that are quote unquote good to you.
Yes.
So to me, that's like, but I'm glad those people are coming around.
I just mean people that are willing I guess what I meant to say, I appreciate when people are willing to change their mind, when people are following the issues
And
and the
not the
actual
people.
results. Yes.
We should not be
Like,
like
oh, this
glorifying
is
politicians.
right. Like, this is an issue I care about. Let's say somebody is like, I really think that the Epstein files are really important to be released because let's say they believe that is going to implicate a bunch of very powerful people in government, maybe like lift the veil on the inner workings and shady shit that's going on. And let's say that that person is like, this is my most important issue. Thus, I'm going to vote for the person that I think is going to make this happen. Just for example,
No.
then it doesn't, like, then that person lied. They don't release anything. They don't whatever. Now, whatever dog and pony show is happening where they're like releasing bits and pieces and it's fully redacted and it's all this stuff that like the public is allowed to see. It's all a show. And I think people see that now and are hopefully going to realize that this isn't what releasing the Epstein files was supposed to be years ago. But anyway, but all I mean is I'm happy when people say, oh, this was the issue. This is like the actual result of what happened. The person didn't say didn't do what they said they're going to do, whatever. I no longer support them. They've lost my trust. They aren't who they said they are. Now, like, who do my issues like line up to now? Because I think all too often people are just.
But that's on the Republican side. The Democratic side will align to party, but not person. Like,
well, aligning to the party to me is just as bad as aligning to a person.
It's definitely not just as bad because when you're aligning to one person is deciding what the whole party thinks. When you're aligning to the party, like there are many people in the party.
Yeah, but the party is mainly corrupted and controlled by like a very few people that are like controlling all behind the scenes. Why is it that when do you ever see the Democratic, like the House or the Senate, like they barely ever actually will like break from the party in how they're voting ever.
But that's true for both sides.
Full of times.
That's true for both sides.
This isn't about
and like I think that a big difference too is that like a lot of people, especially the younger Democrats, are not happy with the Democratic Party because they want them to be more progressive and they're not as progressive as they should be. And everyone knows, especially the younger Democrats, that like the older Democrats are trying to like tarnish candidates like Mamdani because he's more progressive and they want to like censor him or like belittle his accomplishments because they don't want him to be the mayor of New York, which he is. Congratulations, him. So I think like being loyal to a party is definitely better than being loyal to one Trump.
But being loyal to the party means that people like Mamdani, I don't really know anything about him, can't change things up. We need disruption.
I want disruption. Like some people feel differently about Mamdani, like well, he can't do everything he says he's going to do. I'm like, yeah, whatever. Who cares? I want him to try.
Yes.
I want him to try whatever he wants to try because like the way that we're doing it now is not working.
Yes.
And like people like just send it.
Yes. I think we all want disruption. I think Trump was a pretty like dark attempt at destruction.
Disruption.
I think
you had a little slip.
I told my dad this because whatever, but I was like thinking that like he's going to be the one to disrupt things and take down the system is like, but in like he's like a dark energy. Like we're doing it.
No, it's bad. It's way.
Like maybe he's gonna break the world, but not in a good way. Not like a light worker.
No,
disruptor.
It's giving like World War II vibes, where it's like, yeah, reset their whole entire fucking country, but like at what cost?
Yes, what I would like is a disruptor for the good, for the light. I mean, I voted in the last election for Marianne Williamson.
Oh yeah,
she's fucking sick. Can I tell a little story about that? I had somebody reach out to me. I think I shared on social media that I was voting for Marianne Williamson. I was pretty upset because I followed her through the primaries and I went and saw her speak live and she was telling like all these stories about how she was being shadow banned and that there was interference from within the US preventing her from,
of course, why wouldn't there be,
getting her word out. But like to hear it firsthand from a person that you trust that's telling you like, yeah, we had a booked out like what's the concert place in San Francisco? I don't know, whatever. We had a booked out theater in San Francisco, thousands of people, and the morning of, the venue calls and just cancels. No explanation. Just says, I'm sorry, we can't hold the event.
I believe it.
Or she has like a big donor dinner with all these people, and that morning the caterer pulls out. And she said that when she decided to run for president, she had a meeting. They had like a meeting with, I don't know, Secret Service or something. They're going over stuff with her, and they're like, by the way, like, this is like really risky. You're going to have people that are going to try to get in the way, whatever. And she was like, yeah, I thought at the time that maybe they meant like foreign influence. And I did not fully realize until it was all happening that it was going to be entirely from the inside. People that do not want her voice to be heard, her platform to be shared. Because, and why do you silence somebody? Not because they're crazy, not because, oh, it's just so different and so crazy different. You shadow ban them because you're afraid that if people hear them, they will follow them. Like, why shadow ban her if she's some crazy lady? They were threatened by her. They were threatened because she's a disruption for the good. She's not party establishment. She's not the same old stuff regurgitated. She's like a true spiritual leader who said, I want what's best for this country. Do you know what she cares about? All of the liberal agenda, everything that you
Yeah.
want done. And she genuinely wants to do it. And she wants to do it by breaking the system that we have. And the world as it be prevented her from even being able to have like at all a fighting chance. And that was pretty sad. Anyway, the story I was going to tell was I posted that I voted for her out of protest or whatever, like wrote her in at the end. She
Yeah.
couldn't get on ballots
Yeah, but you can write
because
in.
she was blocked because of same invisible hand stuff preventing her from even being on the ballot. And I wrote her in, and then I had somebody message me and said, I can't believe you would waste your vote or throw away your vote. That's so inconsiderate, and something that you, as a privileged white person, because this person is of color, is that appropriate?
Yeah.
I said, I can't, well, you as a privileged white woman might not understand that me and my lineage have not always had the ability to vote, so I would never do that. I was like flabbergasted and taken aback and made me question my things, but I like responded back to her kindly, and I was like, since when is voting for the person that you want to be president a throwaway vote?
Yeah. I don't think it's a throwaway vote. I do think that this past election, people, depending on who you are, it felt like high pressure to vote for not Trump and also like basically only Kamala, right? Because Trump's agenda felt so dangerous. So like only I agree with you that like I think everyone should vote for who they want to vote for, like period. Full stop. But just to I think shed light onto like her other comment about it, which I think to me reads as like less about a comment on you and like more about like fear, trauma, whatever about anything, is that like I think there was a very real fear, like, and not just fear of like the government lying to you, and not just fear of um like is the economy going to be okay, but like real fear for safety for some people's families and people that they know and love. And so I am not going to like defend that somebody would say that to you and go out of their way. I'm just trying to add some like color to it to be like, hey, I think this is what this person was going through, because I mean, I remember the election night, and I remember being like, what if I have to leave the country? Like, how much money do you have? And then I was like, when did people leave Germany? Because like by the time you know you need to leave, it's too late.
Sure. I get that. And I'm not trying to minimize the fact that how, like, personally, at risk people feel under certain
administrations.
I would also, though, say that to say that like physical safety versus the economy, as if like the economy is this just like, oh, it has to do with how rich you can get. Like the economy is like whether people can afford fucking groceries for their family. Like the majority of the population, I've said this before and I'll say it again. I've never voted for Trump, but when people were surprised that he got elected, I said this actually shows how out of touch a lot of people are with like the majority of mass America. And the fact that mass America, when it says they're voting with their wallets, I think people think that that means they're like, oh, these like Republican rich people. Voting with their wallets could mean that you are the father of a family of 6 and you can't afford groceries for your kids off your minimum wage job and you're trying to figure out how to afford life.
Yeah.
And that is as much about basic needs as feeling threatened because somebody doesn't, you know, approve of how you identify as your gender.
Yeah.
Like it's, I don't know, you could argue one over the other, but like this is like people not knowing if they're going to be able to like pay their mortgage, pay their rent, feed their families. Like it is also real. And I think people somehow think that when it's about the economy, it means about rich getting richer. And that's like not necessarily. Now, whatever Trump's policies are.
No, I'm not
economy,
disagreeing with you. I
like
100%
the
agree with those comments. It's just that so many people that we know, that you and I know, that are our peers, are not worried about that when we talk about the economy. They're worried about like the stock market and their earnings and their money, and not at that basic level of need. But I 100% agree with you that when we talk about the economy and we're talking about those people, like that is just as important as that is physical safety. That is a basic need that needs to be met, that I think the government is responsible for providing.
Why there was a huge swath of like lower middle income people that voted for Trump.
Yeah, but he's the last person.
It's not always like, it's not like, oh, poor people vote are Democrats and rich people are Republicans at all. It's coastal elites are liberals and some rich Republicans.
Big city people are usually Democrats and the rest of the people are not.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what it is.
Correct. I mean, I agree. Ditto.
Correct. I mean, I agree.
2000.
No, I think that, I know, I'm trying to say, like, I think there are reasons why people have that belief. But, and I also think that, like, there's like conflicting strategies at play here, because one person is thinking about right now and one person is thinking about, okay, but what's next?
Yeah.
And I think that sometimes, especially where we are right now in history, like I know that this is going to feel like such a pivotal moment in the history of the United States of like what happens. People are just very afraid, I think, in a way that we haven't seen before. That is like, I think, the message that I'm trying to convey. And so like where I think you have this thought about how you want to vote because you're thinking about, let's just tear down this system. Let's like think of this a whole different way. It's not real. It wasn't as realistic.
For sure.
But for you, I think, and maybe this is the point she's making, but like not in the best way, is like you are in a place where you get to decide that way because you feel safe enough. Whether or not you are is one thing, but like at least let's just say you feel that way. That's the privilege.
My vote for what I thought would be safest
for
the
everyone.
Nation.
Yeah.
Not me. I don't need Marianne Williamson's policies at all. It is what I truly believed would be the best choice for the people that have no privilege, that are fucked, that the Democrats are fucking, that the Republicans are fucking.
We're not all fucking, okay? Like,
fucking
over.
Exactly. And so anyway,
I get
not in a selfish way.
No, I know.
But sure. But
I don't think you're being selfish.
But now let me bring this to something else. So maybe in that case, it was a write-in ballot. Okay, you could argue that's throwaway. But
you also live in California. I just don't think it's that big of a deal. If you were in literally like,
which is part of why I wanted to do it, because the Democrats are gerrymandering the shit out of California.
But if you were in North Carolina or Pennsylvania, one of the states that were more swing.
But can we also just talk real quick about the fact that like how much Democrats love to get on Republicans for gerrymandering, but do you know that California is the most gerrymandered state in the fucking nation?
For them.
It's like Republicans are second-class citizens. You can't, there's no impact. No, and it's just so funny how it's like these are one of those places where it's like the Democrats love to take the moral high road. They're like, but we have to because the Republicans are. Guess what? Everybody's like, we need to defend against Texas gerrymandering. Texas, even with its extra gerrymandering added on, is less gerrymandered than California already was.
Yeah, but also
already was before this
Texas
change.
has a lot more voter suppression, so I'm finding it very hard to feel sorry for Texas.
What if we just take away gerrymandering?
Of course,
on both
it
sides?
should just be population.
Just
there should be no more electoral
vote.
college.
Let the people vote.
They should let everybody vote.
Let the people vote. Speaking of letting the people vote, something that's been really bugging me, talking about voting again, is I think there's a mind virus that's taken over. I think there's a mind virus that is telling us that if you don't vote for the chosen candidate who's going to go up in the general election, right? Like the chosen Democrat, the chosen Republican. There's a mind virus that I think maybe the government's bringing
it's
down
just propaganda
to keep us controlled that says that you have to fall in line. And if you don't vote for their candidate, we're going to weaken the party. We're going to split the party. Okay, everybody. That is what a primary is for. You vote for your fucking choice. You vote in the primary for who you want, not who you think is going to go up against the person in the other party. You vote for who you want.
We didn't even have a primary.
Whoever the fuck you want. I know. They've been like skipping over it. They just skip right through it. They go, oh.
I was like, when's the last time I voted in a primary? And it was
but that's
when Joe Biden got elected, and I didn't vote for Joe Biden.
This is where we are missing the critical part of the U.S. democracy. They have been silently getting rid of the primary over the years, silently just moving directly into the general election, telling you that in the primary, you have to vote for the person that can beat the other person in the primary. I mean, in the general, we're all infected. Primary election, the point is that the people get to choose which candidate they want.
Yeah,
the Republicans have been doing
this conversation in Texas right now for Senator. Jasmine Crockett's running, and I don't remember the guy's name. But a lot of people are like, she shouldn't be running because she doesn't have a chance to beat whoever, Ted Cruz, Rafael.
Yes. So this is easiest
She's
way.
running. They're running, but
you want to get like the easiest way to prevent somebody from succeeding is to start planting that seed of they could never. It's not even worth it. It's not even worth listening to them. Not even worth voting for them. Don't even, you like them, but they could never win. So don't. Guess what? That's how they make sure only the people that are sanctioned.
Yeah, I know.
Do you know like media only will like, okay, RFK, everybody the entire time, RFK could have won. RFK could have
I would die.
Gone up against Trump. Okay, but is he worse than Trump? Whatever. Let the people decide.
I'm not sure. I don't know. We don't know.
But don't you think that people should get to decide?
Well, yeah.
But this entire time, it was controlled by mass media, by the parties saying, no, just fall in line. We've already picked. No. Like, forget about them. No, they can't go on the ballot. No. Like, they're not giving them a place at the table. That should be what Americans are the most worried about. And the only thing you can do is vote for who the fuck you want, not who you think is going to win.
I think we need to like cut down these donations.
Well, yeah.
Like
super PACs.
Was it
Citizens United?
Citizens United.
Biggest problem in our entire democracy.
And I was looking it up the other day. I didn't realize how recent it was. It was like,
yeah.
And I was like, because doesn't it feel like everything's like supercharged on crack? And I can't decide if just because I'm older, so I know more about what's going on, or if it's because it's the internet, because social media, or if everything's just really that intense, or we just all really hate each other that much.
Because TikTok is bringing all the conspiracies to light.
No, shut up. But I think it is because of Citizens United.
Yeah, that's definitely fucked us. You know, Bernie, AOC, they were talking about it a lot. They're like the only real true progressives. Well, actually, now there's probably new ones.
I mean, they need to be put more in local elections. I think part of the problem I have with some of these people, your girl, what's her name, whatever.
Williamson.
Yes, thank you. Running for president, obviously it's like the easiest, fastest way to get attention, blah, 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 blah. But like local elections, I think is like where people make a really big difference.
Yeah.
And I think once you have a hold in local elections, then it's going to be really hard to like stop a movement. And I think we've kind of like lost the art in like that type of politics, and are only focused on like the flashy, and
Yes.
that's how it breeds corruption, right? Because we just get all these people who are like power hungry, who just want to go straight to the top. Not saying that's her, but also like if she would have won, it would even just be, they wouldn't even want her to succeed. Like all of the congressmen and women would probably be actively sabotaging her throughout the entire presidency.
For sure.
And that's like one of the saddest things when I think about a third party candidate winning, is that they would get absolutely nothing done. And so you almost like need, I mean, we need like 7 parties, right? Like that's how it works everywhere else in every other developed country. They have like 7 parties and they all fight or whatever. And that's how you get things done.
How are we going to break out of the 2-party system?
Never, because the way that we make the laws is reliant on these fucking people who just want to keep it as it is. They're making a ton of money just staying politicians, being able to own stock, like all these crazy things that they're able to do. They're not going to give it up. It's a cash cow.
Yeah, things we need to be talking about that would help like subdue corruption on both sides.
Wait, time out. There's this guy on TikTok. I have to send it to you. He goes through 28 things that he thinks liberals and conservatives can agree on, and they're all really good. I don't think only was one that I was like,
what are they?
Well, I don't remember them all, but there's 28. There's 28. But it's like, like he touches on like immigration, just like we should know who's in the country, like, and saying it in a way that's like non-inflammatory. Like that's like 90% of the battle, right? Is like, we should know who's in the country. There should be an easy process for people to come, and so that you can vet people, yada, 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 yada. Well,
I was going to say about, speaking of the money, it's like the transparency and limitations on how political insiders are allowed to invest. They're literally
he was saying that they should not, and he said none of them and none of their close family should be able to invest.
Yep.
He also said, this is the one that I don't think people talk about enough. They should only vote on one issue at a time, period, and not be able to make side deals in the bill, so that
there's such, I know, it's crazy.
Yeah,
that's smart. I like that.
Yeah. I don't know if I remember anymore.
I mean, changing the voting system, not to harp on voting, but I mean, it's kind of how we have a democracy or don't. But there's been talks of changing the voting from, so the way we have it is obviously there's like one winner.
Winner takes all.
Winner takes all. What's the one where it's like ranked choice voting? Voting. So ranked choice voting, I think Alaska does it.
I'm just laughing because I think they did ranked choice for mayor of New York and they got Eric Adams, but I don't know.
Well, I think I think they set it up in like Alaska or something, a couple different places. Best, because what happens is you pick your first, second, third. And so what can happen is, let's say your first choice is Marianne Williamson. Your second choice could be Kamala. Right. Mm-hmm. So you're like, hey, this is who I really want, Marianne.
Yeah.
But I don't want Trump. So like also like second, I could do Kamala.
Yeah.
And then like third, I don't know, RFK, whatever. Okay. Yeah. Then that actually allows people to focus on who they really want. And then the second place or the first place can actually come out on top, whatever. It allows people to
and then I think it also forces people to pay attention to all the candidates instead of just the one that you want to vote for.
And we're not focused on just who we think. We're not voting based off who we think is going to win in the next round. We're just voting on who we want now.
Yeah.
And then it self-selects based off the population.
Well, we should also move to like
the people.
What is it called? Population voting.
Socialism.
No. Well, yes. But
no, we were looking up before this socialism, communism. We're trying to figure out the difference.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Okay. I don't know. Don't ask me.
What did they say? They said that They said that was the internet. It said that someone can correct us in the leave a comment or whatever. That socialism is that. Wait, what?
Socialism.
It's like you work
out what you put in.
Yeah, you get out what you
still requires like independent work. Communism is like everybody
you get what you need
based off need.
You get what you need.
Yeah, that's the main difference. And there's like some still private.
That was the TLDR of it.
Socialism. Yeah. Okay, good. Back to our debate. What else are we supposed to be talking about?
Oh yeah.
let me get back
Are
to
you on
the
it?
debate. Okay. Here listed on our notes says fuck Ronald Reagan. Would you like to comment?
Okay,
That's
well,
a question.
it's not a question. It's just more of a statement that I wanted to make sure. Just like you said, you want to clarify you did not vote for Donald Trump.
You want to clarify you did not vote for Ronald
I
Reagan.
definitely didn't vote for Ronald Reagan. And then just so everyone's clear on where I stand, no, fuck Ronald Reagan. He's glorified, right? If you look at the electoral college from back in his elections, I think every single state voted for him except for Minnesota, where they had a candidate.
I mean, my dad is like a Reagan Republican through and through. Like he has hats and t-shirts.
I think that is insanity.
He's a small business owner. Like the trickle down economics was
Oh
like
my
he was like, this is me.
Okay,
I
but
am this.
in the 80s, though, I could see how you would like this because also the economy was doing really poorly under Jimmy Carter. He deregulated the stock market, so like everyone was doing good. But he created, when you like think about so many of the problems we have with the stock market, with the economy, with incarceration, with mental health, with drugs, they like all teeter back to Ronald Reagan in a way that is like, how can one person, one administration be responsible for all of these downstream effects? And so I think if you're in
trickle downstream effect,
trickle down, yes. And like, it's when I read books, like I read this book called Mass Incarceration, The New Jim Crow, and it's talking about the war on drugs, putting Black people in prison, and it's a lot has to do with Ronald Reagan because I mean, not to say he's the only one that did that. Bill Clinton did stuff like that too. It's not just him. All the presidents are awful, but it's just the 80s were such a very specific time in life. It's also if you read about HIV/AIDS, and he
well, that was Fauci.
But Ronald Reagan doesn't ever address HIV/AIDS ever.
Well,
he's the president. There's a global pandemic worse than COVID.
Yeah, but it also may have been made in a lab and released also
But
by Fauci.
It's fine, whatever. Who cares? But like what I'm saying is that as the president of the United States, why wouldn't you ever address it? He was also very religious, right? And they thought it was a gay disease.
Know what was going on, and
people are dying.
Yeah.
Like at a rate.
Maybe they didn't want to make what happened with COVID, which worked out so well.
But people were really dying.
Yeah.
Like young, healthy people were dying. Like this is it's not comparable. This is like not comparable at all. Like for you.
Well, I don't know how widespread it was. I think it was pretty small at first.
Well, I think part of the problem is that it's kind of localized to like disenfranchised group of people where like maybe you don't have an interest in like
for sure.
But it does end up affecting people who were not gay men because some of these people are on the down low and they have families.
For sure.
You know what I mean? But it was like the biggest, it's like it was big news.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, well, I wasn't even alive, so I don't like it's hard for me I wasn't alive during that. But I
don't think you can understand modern.
I don't know as much about Ronald Reagan as you. So
I don't think you can understand, and I think everyone should learn about it because I don't think you can understand as much about modern republicanism if you don't understand Ronald Reagan.
I mean, I don't
it starts there.
As a Republican.
I'm not saying you do. I'm just telling the world.
The people.
Yeah,
the potential Republicans or lack thereof.
Or just like if you're interested in politics at all, if you are trying to understand how we got here, like what the party is founded on, because the party wasn't always this way.
For sure.
We don't have to accept the fact that being a Republican means that you hate women's bodily autonomy. And I think like understanding that this isn't something that was born with the Republican Party for 200 years.
Yeah.
It's a new thing, means that you can break off of that. You can be a Republican if you want to be.
You can
change it. Yes, it changes.
So that it no longer thinks that that's a problem.
Yes, exactly.
As most of the people in it don't think it's a problem for women to have autonomy.
That's why I think it's important to understand, because people think of it as some big far away idea, but that's not true.
For sure. For sure.
Anyways, that's all I wanted to say.
Okay, great. Well,
I think we have to almost
end it.
That one went fast. We only got to fuck Ronald Reagan. Okay. So
is there anything else we need to say?
Well, we can like maybe have one of these a season so we can just get it all
out. What we need to say, what we really want to say. Okay, well, I just want to leave the people to know that
slavery is still legal.
Oh, AI slavery or people
No,
slavery?
that's people slavery. Yeah, I saw a TikTok of a guy who's writing a paper that he thinks that um, AI is like a slave, like a slave fantasy. He said it better, but it's like that we're so obsessed with owning slaves that we just really want to have free labor, and having AI gives us that like illusion and feeling.
It does. It's $20 a month for your free little computer slave,
Yeah, ChatGPT.
AI slave. Okay, well, humans, we respect you no matter who you vote for. No matter
Well, okay, maybe Grace does, but I'm
I respect you
yeah,
no matter who you vote for, but
she
I do
does.
want to call you forward to think deeper, to take a different perspective, to zoom out from your party and look at the big picture, to realize that the media is
We didn't even get to the media, so
not always telling the truth.
well, also I want to say like parties are like a suggestion. They're not like you don't. It's not like we're not like diehards.
They're like a
They're not blood bound.
toxic,
They're not blood oaths.
like a toxic, like popular crowd at his school that's
Yeah,
like
it's
really
true.
toxic.
I know.
That you're like, you
we need like
shouldn't want to
5
join
more
it.
parties.
Yeah.
Like the wigs. Remember those? Bring those back. I don't know
What
if
did
they
they do?
believed in, but they were around.
What were they doing?
I don't know. But when I was in high school, we had to memorize all the presidents, their parties, and their terms in office. And there's Federalists and there's wigs. Democrats and Republicans is pretty much it.
All right, final question. If you could start a party, what would it be called? Don't say the wigs.
The first thing that came to my mind was the Reynadis.
Why does it feel like Illuminati-esque?
I don't know.
Hopefully it's less Illuminati.
It just like it popped in my mind.
I like it.
What about you?
I didn't have an answer.
Well, neither did I.
It's got to be like something like the Awakened.
Oh, God.
Like the
Yours sounds more like a cult, like the Illuminati.
What? No, like
the Awakened. Eyes wide open.
people.
Okay.
Wake up.
All right. Well, whatever. All right. Do we need a wellness hack of the week?
I think it's to
Read a book.
touch grass.
Oh, that's yours. Have you touched
It was
grass?
an LOL.
Have you touched grass this week at all?
Not today.
Mm.
Maybe I'm saying it to myself.
Mine is to, dang, I don't have one. I never have one. I'm just always well.
You're just well by default, just intuitively.
Oh, I have one. No one ever does it, but I do it all the time because I'm special and cool. But I think you probably do it too.
What?
Go on a walk with no stimulation.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I didn't know that other people don't do that. And I was talking to my therapist about it when I was still in therapy. And she said that she has to get people to work up to it. Like they do like 3 minutes and then 5 minutes and then 10 minutes. Like literally people can't do it. And everyone says they can.
That's mindfulness.
Well, I don't know what it is.
With yourself. Well, I mean, like walking by yourself is like a mindfulness practice. You're just with yourself, in your body.
Yeah, I have no idea. I just do it.
Seeing where you feel it going. It's like a presence with self.
Oh, okay. Well, I do it all the time because I think I'm really good company. And I'm like, oh, I don't need like anyone else. It's just me. You know, sometimes I put my headphones in because I'm like, oh, I'll listen to something and I forget.
Well, don't you ever just want quiet? Like
all the time.
Like the other day, we have a friend that stays with us because he's working in Orange County, and he was like every other week he stays with us, and he was staying with us. And I was like folding laundry. I just put the kids to bed, and I was folding laundry, and he like comes in, and he's like, "Oh, folding laundry is one of my favorite activities." I was like, "Really?" I wanted to be like, "You could do it then," but no. But he was like, "Yeah, but like, why are you in silence? I always have like a podcast or music or something." And I was like, are you kidding me? How often do you think I get to just be in the quiet? He was like, huh.
Yeah.
It was like, after like hours of stimulation, and like, I was like, I just prefer just the silence and the folding. He was like, huh, wow. And in that moment, I realized how different our lives were, but.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. So I ride the train sometimes. I just do nothing.
Also, part of the touch grass, it's supposed to be like mindfulness. Like
they don't do that.
Okay, when you touch the grass,
you can't steal my hack.
Don't have don't have like headphones in. Don't be like productive. Don't be on a call, whatever. Just like be there with yourself and the grass.
All right.
The
Well,
ground.
I think those are good. It's
Okay.
one hack. You stole mine, just for the record. Anyways, I guess we'll end here. Oh
work
no,
on
our
some
favorite
more.
part.
We need some new ones.
Yeah.
All right, friends. Thank you so much for being here. If you like today's episode, like it, rate it, share it, do all the things. We just do this for you guys, so I hope you like it.
Okay, and we'll see you next time.
We'll see you there or see you at another time.
We did it.
We did it!